Prepare yourself for List Off, the gaming podcast where your hosts, Brian and Ryan, rank the things they love. 3, 2, 1, List Off!
This week, I see you shiver with anticipation because we are covering our top 10 games we're most anticipating. How's it going, Ryan?
Good, Brian. It's good to see your smiling face, man. For the listeners, it's been but a week since our last episode aired, but for us, it's been 3.
Yeah, it's been a while since we actually recorded, so this is good to get back in the saddle here.
Right. I do expect it to be more awkward than usual. So
probably we got to get our footing again, and
absolutely
we don't have a guest in tow, so
I know.
Yeah, it's just going to be
a lot of
talking.
silence.
Right? Yeah. Just those awkward Zoom, like, oh, wait.
Is it your turn?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Right. No, this is good. I think this is going to be a good episode because it's a good lead in, right? It's not the big one. I think next week's the big one for you and I, because we're going head to head, and I think we both value competition.
That's right.
But this is like a good casual lead in, so we don't ruin our friendship right off the bat.
Exactly.
To start out 2022. Yeah.
Right. These are just titles we're excited about and are anticipating, want to talk about.
Yeah.
So, but before we get to that, did you play any video games this week?
I did, and it'd be 3 weeks. So there's a few, but I actually went on a really nice vacation and I didn't take anything with me. I didn't play any cloud-based gaming either. I just played one app game, and that app game was Florence, which was a very short game. But have you played this? I
am aware of it, but Keith had mentioned it previously.
Right. Yeah, Keith had mentioned it, and another podcast I listened to, Tales from the Backlog, had mentioned it. And man, it is definitely a game everybody should play. It's a couple bucks, and it is very short, beautifully done. It talks about relationships and the struggles with that, inspiration, but it doesn't talk about anything. There's no dialogue. It's just this awesome music. It's a very chill game. It's all done in, as far as gameplay goes, WarioWare kind of style, where you're just swiping or doing things to perform certain actions in the game. And I don't want to give too much away. It's great. It's a great story. It's emotional, and it's pretty incredible how minimal it is in design, yet the emotions that it incites. It's awesome. Great experience. Everybody should do it.
Is there one story that you're playing through, or are there choices that can kind of branch things off?
It's one story. It's definitely one story.
Cool.
Aside from that, I played Firewatch all the way through as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, another great game. It was a really good experience that everybody else should do. A quick game, but just really, really cool. And I almost want to play through it again to see how the different there's got to be different endings, because this game does have choice as far as how you respond to the only person you're communicating with throughout the game. And some of the things I think I played a little conservatively. I tend to not role play outside of what I would normally do,
Yeah.
So I would like to go back into it and try a different type of run through.
Mm-hmm.
I also played a game you recommended to me, which is Donut County.
Oh, okay.
On Game Pass. I was really into casual games, lately, and I just wanted some very minimal experiences. Donut County was funny and great.
It's funny.
It's really, really cool. Very
just relaxing game.
Yeah, right. Very quirky though, dialogue wise.
What'd you think about all the story stuff with just texting your animal friends?
Right. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really, really funny. Definitely another one that people should check out on Game Pass. And not a long game, real casual experience.
Great phone game. That's how I played it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I
agree. Have to buy it there, but yeah,
I agree. And I played the Gunk. Have not yet made it through. Still enjoying it. I don't know if I'll make it through. I don't know if I'm that motivated to make it all the way through.
Really?
I get it. I think this, the story is cool. It's unfolding more and more. There's more happening on the planet than you're initially aware of, but of course there is, right? It's just the things that are unveiling themselves aren't grabbing me. So I just don't know.
That's disappointing. I love that, the studio and everything they've done. So
I definitely enjoy the gameplay more than the story in this game. It's very, very cool, very zen, scratches that itch of like vacuuming up everything, right?
Sure.
And then the real game I've started playing is Hollow Knight Voidheart Edition, another one that you've said I should play for a very long time. I'm going to make it through this year. I just think it might go on the back burner because some huge games just came to Game Pass, one of which I think I have to dedicate a lot of time to, and that's Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So,
man, this drop surprised me. So, yeah, there's a lot of new games on Game Pass that, I mean, today's the day. So, yeah. And you said you were interested in that. Outer Wilds
for sure. I'm gonna get into as well. There are some other ones that look really cool, but I think I'm just gonna hunker down and finally take on Mass Effect. It's overdue. It's overdue. Here we go. I hope I could get it done before Sifu releases.
Right.
Yeah. But that's me. That's my games for the last 3 weeks. So how about you, Brian?
Yeah. So the ones that you just mentioned with Mass Effect and Outer Wilds, I'm hotly waiting to get to those. So for Outer Wilds, a couple days before that announcement of it coming to Game Pass, I bought it. I bought the Archaeologist edition, which comes with the
Echoes of the Eye.
Exactly. Right. Echoes of the Eye DLC, which is kind of a standalone experience. But I bought it through the Windows Store because that was the only way that I could get it on PC and not on my Xbox, where I would rather play it on PC.
Right.
It does not download whatsoever. And every single review for it is, hey, don't buy this because it doesn't download. And that wasn't there before. And there's like 10 reviews that all say the same thing. So it came to the Game Pass and I can play it on that. I'm trying for a refund on it because it legit will not open.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they see that and see all the people having the same exact issue.
Yeah, that's disappointing. And the sad thing is you don't get the DLC with it on Game Pass.
So. Right. So you can buy it separately and you get a discount, I believe, since your Game Pass
$13 or something like that.
So I want to get through the base game and make sure that I'm gonna stick with it this time. Last time I just wasn't in the mood for a game like that because it is very much exploration at your own pace and putting all these puzzles together. So I'm interested in that, but free, that sounds good.
Right.
But for what I actually played, my list for last year is no longer valid because Inscription definitely needs to move up. I would say to the number 2 slot because
it was your 4, I think. No,
it was it was either 4 or 5.
Right. Yeah.
I think it was 5.
Yeah.
But man, that game, I beat it, went all the way through. It goes a bunch of different places.
Wow.
None of which I can talk about because it's all spoiler. But needless to say, the base game continues to be a lot of fun. I was thinking about getting into. They have Casey's mod, which is basically the Act 1 of the game ad infinitum.
It's like a roguelike just with the deck building aspect. I've heard about that. Yeah.
Right. So that sounds like something I would really enjoy because I really like the card game aspect. I would love to have this as a physical edition, like a card game of this game would be amazing. It'd be impossible to actually play, but still cool.
Do you know if they're going to release? I mean, who knows if they're going to port it, but they should. They have to. I think it's going to happen, right?
So it's really hard to say. The developer hasn't said anything. There are definitely things in this game that wouldn't work
on a console.
Yes.
So mouse and keyboard.
Well, no, it's not control. It's there's weird stuff that happens.
Oh my gosh, this just makes me want to play it more.
I know. I that's all I can say. I can't say anymore.
Okay. Say no more then. Yeah.
I won't. But just so many aspects of the game are so much fun, and it's a game that I continue to think about and all the cool stuff that happens. So I really you need to play this game one way or another.
Okay.
So
I might have to get it on this beater of a computer.
Exactly. But the other game I played is Returnal. Wastelands,
Right.
your game of the year last year. I love this game. It's
the game of the year.
Sure, yeah, the game of the year. So I've put about, I don't know, 2 hours into it at this point. I haven't died. I got to the sixth boss, and
Yeah, all right.
like
I haven't died.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
It's my first run.
Yeah.
But no, this game is really difficult. I immediately you jump into it, and it feels right. It's so fast.
Yeah.
The jumping is great. The dodging is great.
Preach.
The shooting is great. The onboarding is really good. So I had first played it over at your place, and you had every single upgrade and whatnot.
Right. And you were just kind of starting from wherever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you had to kind of explain how certain things were working. But the game does a really good job of kind of telling you, hey, this is what this thing does. And it slots things in. There's so many different aspects that are going on. I don't even really know what exactly everything is yet. There's like artifacts and the
Sylphium, and there's everything. Yeah. But if you take the time to read, you'll get it quick.
Yes, they definitely tell you and explain things, and there's like video features on every single aspect too. So as long as you're looking and paying attention, it all makes sense. But yeah, the gameplay is very hard. I died a couple times. I don't know if it's a boss per se, but it's the Frike.
Oh, that's a boss.
That is a boss.
That is
okay.
That's the first boss. Yeah.
So that's the first boss. So I beat that boss and then got to the next area and then promptly died. So is that like the first biome, and then once you beat the boss, you go to the second biome?
Right. So you went to the desert then.
Yes.
Yes. The Crimson Wastelands. I
right.
believe. Yeah. Look at this, man. It's
everything has very
now.
Right. Everything has a very official name, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because Celine is just like kind of seeing it for the first time with us as we're going through it. So I got the key to the house and went through there. So there's some mysteries going on that are very intriguing.
For sure. And you might want to think about like some of the names maybe, or some of like the, iconography you see as you're playing through.
Sure.
Because the story is vague. Like it gets vague at times. But yeah, I'm so happy to hear you're playing it.
I had a bombshell. I was listening to a different podcast, and they said, hey, here's the part where we're going to spoil things. And there was something in there that was like, man, okay, well, that's spoiled. But yeah, just like kind of what happens when you get out. And yeah, I don't really want to spoil it here, but
no, I kind of had the same thing happen with Inscription. It was the person probably thought they weren't saying anything spoilery.
Sure.
But they had used terminology that it was like, well, that kind of gives a little bit away, and it was enough. It's enough.
Right. So forget all that and then play it fresh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like both of these games, Inscription and Returnal, are ones that are best experienced with no knowledge. Just jump in and see where it takes you.
Did you have an opportunity to seek out the quicker access to the second level yet? The second biome?
I don't think so.
Okay, because once you defeat Fright, well, I should let you figure it out for yourself. But you no longer have to if you don't want to.
Okay. There was some weird statue at the beginning by the ship.
Okay, it's not. It's a room you'll have to find.
Okay, yeah.
And you'll know it when you get there, because it does this thing where like it's like the room, the kind of the environment in the room is more like a transition from the one you're in to the next one.
Okay,
and you'll know it when you see it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure I'll figure that out. But yeah, I don't really know the best way to play it. Like when you play Hades, you figure out, okay, like I can skip this, that, and the other. But right now I'm like, all right, let me go through the first biome and get every upgrade I can, and slow and steady. And I feel like when I watched you play, you're like, all right, I can skip like this entire room and just like kill the guys and move on.
But it's a good idea to be patient in this game, and you'll gain power and knowledge, and it'll help you for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
great.
But yeah, that's my playlist. Returnal. It's going to get bumped. Like, I mean, we're about to talk about what's potentially going to throw it on the back burner for me, but I definitely love it and want to continue playing it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
So-
the kind of game you really need to like play all the way through immediately, because the story and the way it plays, it is a roguelike. So you don't
Right.
have to, devour it in one sitting. You can put it down and come back to it. I think it almost
Right.
welcomes that because of the gameplay.
So we won't be able to do a spoiler cast on Returnal so much because you've already covered that. But if you do Inscription, I think there's plenty
All right,
there
cool.
to unpack.
I'm gonna have to do it now. I'm gonna have to do it.
All right. Well, those are our playlists. You want to get to the lists?
Absolutely. Let's do
Okay.
it.
All right. We are hotly anticipating hearing each other's lists as well as playing these games.
Mhm.
So let's do it. I can't remember how we do it.
No,
Whose turn is it to
3
go?
weeks, Brian.
I
What are we
know.
doing here? I told you it'd be awkward, guys.
Right? Yeah. As host, do I go first? I can't even remember.
You do go
Okay,
first.
cool.
But we start
cool.
with our honorable mention.
Yes, I
which
do
is-
remember that.
Which is not called the runner-up. I have to remind myself that almost every
honorable
time.
mention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are interchangeable. I don't know. Do we need a distinction?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Okay.
the runner-up is the number 2, not the
That's
number
true.
11. So,
That's
yeah.
okay. Yeah. I never even thought about that. So
I have
All right.
given it too much thought.
I see. So my honorable mention, Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
This is a big one for me. I've seen a what they've shown, and they promptly push this game back. I can't even remember where it's pushed into the year at this point.
Right.
It was supposed to come out like real soon. I feel like spring, like March time. But it was doing a lot of cool things from what we've seen at this point. It's kind of it's Firaxis, so they're automatically the best studio to do an XCOM style game, which is what this is. The fact that there are kind of, I don't know if they're card packs, but things like that, where there are random booster packs of things that you can open to get new things,
like a
to
deck
use.
building element. Yeah,
Exactly, which I love.
absolutely.
So that aspect really has me intrigued, and the fact that they're really showcasing more of the Marvel characters that we know about or don't know about as much. It's not your Captain America and Spider-Man as much as it seems like X-Men and things that we definitely want to see, and probably will see more in the Marvel universe, cinematic universe, coming forward here. But yeah, this one looks pretty cool. I like the art style a lot. It's grabbing me. It's really bright and colorful. They have more of a kind of a comic booky feel to the characters. So I think the gameplay is really what matters in this one, but I'm on board at this point. So we'll see how that one turns out, but I'm excited.
It's a good one. I do agree with what you're saying. It's more of like a comic booky feel with the style, because it's not like Guardians of the Galaxy or the Avengers where it's going for like hyper realism, right? They look like real people. It's definitely more stylized than that. And it looks good. Looks good for sure. Good pick. My honorable mention is a game called Stray. It's,
the kitty cat game.
The kitty cat game. Absolutely, dude.
Yes.
Absolutely. So like it looks really cool because it does look kind of not necessarily cyberpunkish, but futuristic, right? And, you get
humans are like gone.
Well, yeah, you don't really see them, but the official synopsis, I think, says something like you're trying to unravel a mystery, and it might be a mystery about just that, right?
Right.
Like, why are there cats and no humans? But it just looks cool. The idea hasn't been done that I'm aware of, really getting to experience the game and play as a cat and explore this, huge city that kind of drips with a lot of character in and of itself. So it's by Blue 12 Studio, and it's being produced by Annapurna. So I know they typically put out pretty good work. And just the whole idea of the game I find to be very unique. And I like when games try new things. I mean, look back at my Game of the Year list and you'll see that I tended to veer towards games that really tried something new.
Sure.
So this looks like it's trying something new, and it's piqued my interest. It also looks like it'll be a little less expensive than the $70 price tag, which warms my heart a little bit. Yeah.
No, I'm eagerly anticipating that one too. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Because you're like jumping around, and it seems like you're having to figure things out as a little cat. So
yeah, like typical 3D, not necessarily platformer, but like adventure game gameplay. But it does look like you said you're playing as a cat, so there's going to be a unique spin on that just by default, right? They're not going to control like a human does, and I'm sure the puzzles won't unfold like they would for, Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2 or something, right?
Right.
You're not going to be able to pick up some rope and throw it over a ledge, right? So
the cat is, from my recollection, wasn't the cat wearing like a little backpack or something? Yeah. So there's some items going on, perhaps.
Probably.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Good pick. I completely forgot about that one, but yeah, that one I'm super anticipating. All right, well, my number 10, Triangle Strategy, formerly Project Triangle Strategy.
It's the official name.
Yes.
It's the Shape series. We've done it, Brian.
Yes. So yeah.
Square listens to us.
Yeah. This is right up my alley. I love my tactics. So, and I love the art style that they had for Octopath. And it seems like this is kind of following that same look and feel. And I mean, Octopath, I played a little bit of. That's on Game Pass, so I jumped in. It's very JRPG, and that was not what I was in the mood for. Right. But Tactics is a whole different scenario where I can play that no matter what. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics, Ogre, or Tactics Ogre. Those are some really good games in my book. So this, if they do that, if they make a compelling game and story out of that, then I'm on board.
Yeah. So all it has to be is comprehensive.
Exactly.
It just has to do what it says it's going to do, and that'll fulfill your needs.
I think so. It's interesting because this is Square that's making it. It feels like they have this whole new franchise, essentially, the Shape series,
right?
As we'll call it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like that it's not Final Fantasy. Getting away from Final Fantasy is usually a good thing in my eyes. So to have a different coat of paint that speaks to me a little more than others. So
yeah, no, it does look. It's not on my list. It does look interesting. Personally, I'm waiting for 2024 when Hexagonal Hunters comes out.
That'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be really good. I can't even say it with a straight face. No, this is a good pick. I think the reason it didn't make my list is because I tried Octopath Traveler on a few different occasions, and it just never got me. It is beautiful, and the graphic style is incredible, but I'm kind of afraid this might have the same effect where it just like doesn't do enough to get me engrossed in it.
Sure.
But I definitely see how it can make your list. It's a good pick.
Thank you.
Yeah. So moving on to my number 10, it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Nice.
Yeah. So
figured this would be there.
It's by Emu. It is here. It's here because I may have even included Streets of Rage 4 on my best games of 2020 list if I had played it that year, because it was so good. I talked about it, when I was playing through it, and it's such a good beat 'em up. It's the best in the Streets of Rage series. And it only set up my expectations for this game. I love the old Turtles beat 'em ups, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Turtles in Time. I think made my top NES games list, and it was pretty high up there. And I expect this to be that very nostalgic jump back to those games with new twists and that .emu style of gameplay. I might not be pronouncing that right, but honestly, that's the developer. Okay, guys.
Right.
But no, I really can't wait to get my paws on this one. My what do turtles have? My feet? Do turtles have feet? What do turtles have?
Turtles have fins, but
well, that's true.
Tortoises.
What do tortoises have? Tortoises. What do they have?
What are they? Anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they got 3 fingers, right? They go like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, cowabunga, man. Pizza time. Yeah.
Side note, all the TMNT movies are on Netflix now. So you can go and binge ones? Those. Wow. Well, sorry, the like 89, 90.
Yeah. That's what I mean by
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Right. Oh, very cool. Don't watch 3. Don't watch 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Bad
real
suits.
reason I'm looking forward to this is I just want to punch Baxter Stockman in the face again.
Right.
That's all I want to do in life.
We all want that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be a cool one.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, Donatello Forever, number
stop
9.
it,
for me.
Michelangelo, dude.
Yeah, well, it's better to know machines than be a party dude. So
That's
my
up
number
for debate.
9.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
Aha.
We got Rocksteady. That's it.
Yeah,
Mic
that's all
drop.
it takes for you. I knew it. I knew this one would be on your list.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
I don't really care for the Suicide Squad so much, but the fact that it's Rocksteady, like that's all that we need, honestly.
Yeah.
The trailers, the like CG trailers, the gameplay trailers,
Right.
it's got me excited.
The Game Awards had a gameplay trailer.
They had actual gameplay.
Right. How'd you feel about that one?
It looked good.
Yeah.
There was a lot of variety with the different characters that seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know how they're going to balance that. It feels like they're going to run into the Avengers problem, but it's Rocksteady, so it feels like they have to do the combat right. That's got to be what it's what they're known for. So
I'm not sure. Have they come out and said this is co-op, or is it a single player experience?
I don't know that they've said, but I feel
either.
like it's going to be single player.
I feel like it is too, and I think that's why it won't run into the Avengers problem.
Right.
Because it could work as you doing kind of almost a Final Fantasy VII remake, switching between characters. I could see it working really well.
Right.
But man, there's a huge power gap between the people you're playing as and the people you're going up against. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with that.
Right. I have no idea what they're going to do with that because, as we know, bad Superman is not a fun character to deal with. So we'll see. I mean, all they've shown is the Flash as like, right. And that's like kind of low tier.
No, what are you talking about? The Flash is like, like should be able to destroy all those people fairly easily. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But low tier in terms of like Superman, I would say.
Oh man, are you really?
I mean, no,
Okay.
We're not. No. See, that's the thing. I don't know that much about DC. Like Marvel, I could be like, all right,
well, the Flash can tap into the time, and actually change history. So, like, anyway.
Well, can't Superman do that too? Can he fly around the
God, don't
world?
Bring up the movies. Don't do it. Can't he fly around the world to reverse time?
That's right.
I mean, I guess he can. It happened. I'm sure it's happened in the comic books too that I'm not aware of. I do know a little bit about DC lore, but there's blind spots there, so I don't want to say the wrong thing and get called out on it.
We can all agree that Batman would be easy to take out, though, so that's good.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, in theory, but he's actually not in this game, right?
Oh, yeah, he's dead, isn't he?
Because this is spoiler alert.
No, they've kind of. I think they have said that. Yeah.
Well,
definitely in Gotham Nights.
This is in those games. Yeah. This is in those Arkham series. It actually, which is so crazy to me that it's Rocksteady in that same world, and it is such a different look at that world. Like,
and that's what I'm excited about.
Right.
We're not in the dark, dreary snow nighttime. Yeah. We're in like it's just daytime with craziness going on,
and very much more lighthearted in tone.
Yes,
like with the dialogue and everything. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. No, it does look good. It does look good. However, speaking of darker tone, there's a game being produced by WB coming out of WB Montreal. That is my pick for the DC game I want to play, and it's my number 9. It's Gotham Nights.
Okay.
Definitely more excited than Suicide Squad.
Really?
Right. I know. WB Montreal is not Rocksteady. However,
well, they're still really
very
good,
capable. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think this is really because of that darker tone. I tend to flock towards those types of games. It is also because I absolutely love the Court of Owls storyline that they're adapting for this game. I think everybody should read it if they read comic books. I do look forward. They're already starting out just from the trailers with little twists to that story. It starts right in the first trailer. Batman's dead, and Batman is a huge part of the Court of Owls storyline. So this is interesting as to where it takes place in that. Is it a new twist on that story? I just can't wait to see what they do with it. This will be co-op, I believe. But yeah, it just looks great. I love the cast of characters, the Bat family that you're
So
gonna get to
who's
play
in
as.
it? That was my question. Do you
So
know?
it's Nightwing, Dick Grayson. I think they'll have Jason Todd in it as well, who was the Robin that got killed by the Joker, but really came
Right.
back as like the Red Hood, I believe. And then they'll also have Tim Drake, Robin, who is the best Robin, if you wanted to ask me that. Barbara Gordon, Catwoman. I mean, not Barbara Gordon, Catwoman, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. And yeah, so it does look like a really good cast of characters. I don't know if they're going to bring in like Damian Wayne and that sort of thing, but
Man, my knowledge of DC is like a pittance compared to Marvel.
They went really far with the Bat family for a while. There's a lot there, right? Like he's had 3 Robins, more than that actually. But 3 of the more popular ones that are going to be in this game. And yeah, I always love when they get those groups together because there's a little bit of rivalry, but they're all friends, but there's always good dialogue involved and they're all very unique characters. And so it'll be good to see. I'm really looking forward to this game.
Nice.
This could be like a sleeper pick if it turns out good for being like really high on my game of the year list. If it pulls it off. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to it. It's so weird how they're marketing these 2 games kind of like together, but I guess they might be pretty different, and we don't know when they're coming out. So
no, I know. And like, which one's coming first?
Right?
Are they going to be close to each other? It'll be interesting to see how they do that.
I'm just glad that we finally know what they're working on because it was years. I mean, Arkham Knight was 2015.
Yeah.
So it's been 7 years since we've had anything from them.
I think if one is going to be later and one possibly delayed till 2023, it would be the Suicide Squad versus the Justice League. But
they want to bake that for as long as they need to.
Yeah.
So good pick. That's 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah.
All right, my number 8. You might be surprised to see this on my anticipated, but it is Splatoon 3.
Wow.
So yeah, I like Splatoon. It's good. It's fine. I enjoy it for like the first couple weeks, and then I kind of fall off. These games are so well made. I really prefer the regular Splatoon arenas over the salmon run and even the single player just didn't grab me at all. It
very
seems like
secondary. Yeah,
definitely. Like I could just leave it and be fine without it. It seems like they might be going in that direction a little more, or that's actually the speculation at least.
Yeah, no, it does seem like it could be a little more story driven.
Right.
Yeah, from the trailer.
But as long as they retain the look and feel of Splatoon, then I'm happy. And I guess it means I'll have to buy Nintendo Switch Online again just to play online essentially. But yes, I will. I wouldn't say eagerly await, but it's on my list for a reason. I'm very interested to see, especially since there's not that much coming to Switch. So
wow. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, this did not make my list.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I just I put so much time into Splatoon 2. I mean, if I looked at my playtime, it's at least 120 hours.
Wow.
I loved that game. I put my heart and soul into it. I just loved the style. I loved what they were doing with the whole 90s vibe. I just don't know if I could find myself getting back into it,
Really? What would they have to do to get you back in?
It can't be the same game with new arenas. And I don't feel like that would get me back in. I
mean, that was 1 to 2.
But I didn't really play 1. So I think 2 was like me getting all my Splatoon out at once.
All right, we gotta censor that one.
Just splatting it all over the place.
Okay, but what if they do ketchup versus mayo again? Will that bring you back in?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. No, I just so I can have my white ink. Anyway, I don't know. It would take something extra to get me into it,
Yeah.
And maybe that would even just be a group of people I know playing it.
Right.
But not on my list, but it's a good pick. It is a very good pick. I'm sure it'll be a great game. Absolutely. So speaking of the Nintendo Switch, not a lot of games coming out for it, but my number 8 is the Advance Wars Reboot Camp. It's Advance Wars 1 and 2 package deal, delayed from 2021 into 2022, but it still counts. This is done by Way Forward is the name of the developer. This is a pure nostalgia pick. I absolutely love the Advance Wars games. So I definitely can see why you chose Project Triangle Strategy, because for me, this is just, it scratches that same itch for me. I love turn-based strategy games, and I'm really looking forward to 2022 being the year of turn-based strategy games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend is sending me Advance Wars 1 and 2 for GBA in the mail. So
there you go. Yeah, you don't even need it.
I won't have to buy it.
Yeah. Can't play online though.
I can't play online, but I can link up with others who have a Game Boy around me.
True. Very true.
No one.
Yeah. No, I definitely am looking forward to this. I will get it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, my number 7, you mentioned the series, but it is Hollow Knight Silksong, which we have no idea when this game is coming out.
I know. Is that official? I'm like, is this an official 2022 release?
It has to. They can't do a whole other year of not having this game.
If it's not 2022, I'm going to make you pick another game.
Okay, well, I have others in the hopper if need be.
Go ahead. Tell me why.
This has got to come out.
It says 2022.
It does. Okay.
Yeah. And now I know the person on the cover.
Oh, okay.
I've been playing Hollow Knight. I know who that is. A little Hornet.
Yeah. I don't. Oh, Hornet. I was going to ask what her name is, but okay, Hornet. Yeah. So if you've seen her in the game, you know how agile she is, and that's what has me excited about this game. Because in current Hollow Knight, you're not very fast. I mean, you're agile enough, but Hornet is just zipping around all over the place, and I'm eager to see that. I mean, that's who you're playing as. So I'm eager to see if that's what the play style is going to be like. I am looking forward to this game just because of the pedigree of Hollow Knight, and I think they are just Team Cherry is really taking their time with it. Everyone always says at the Nindy or whatever Indie Direct, whatever they call it, Hollow Knight's got to be there, and it never is. But one of these times, it will be. Yeah. And I think I'm getting overly hyped for this game, and just because it's been on its way for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, the original Hollow Knight, 2014? It's been a long time since that game came out.
Seems like it. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it will come this year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll see. I mean, they have not really they haven't said anything. They haven't done anything outside of like the original announcement. And they have just been keeping completely quiet for the entire time. Right. So
yeah, I have a game on my list that is the same thing. It was announced and it's kind of been radio silent since then.
Wow.
But I'll get there when I get there.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Hopefully 2022.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
So my number 7, and you'll probably be surprised to see this so low on my list, but it is the sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
Yet unnamed sequel to Breath of the Wild,
right?
Published and developed by Nintendo. It's another Switch entry. This was way higher on my list going into 2021 for my most anticipated games, even though it was probably never going to be released in 2021. I just I feel like my interest in this game has waned. I am looking forward to it. Obviously, it made this list, and it's higher than some games I'm very much looking forward to. So it hasn't completely gone away, but it can't be Breath of the Wild again. It's another one where they really have to do something new, and I have faith that they will. They've done it time and time again with The Legend of Zelda, even though people always say, it's the same game, especially for some of those older entries, but they always have new takes on it. And I'm sure this will be no different. I just have seen so little of it in the last year that it's hard for me to really be looking forward to it when they haven't shown us anything since like the initial reveal and a little bit on the Switch, like the Switch OLED. And I just need to see more. They had like a little 30-second trailer or something 6 months ago.
I would say it was like a good 2-minute trailer. It was pretty extensive.
Yeah.
And that was all gameplay too. But I mean, we know what the gameplay is going to be.
Right. And I feel like it didn't show much though.
Mhm.
You know, and I just want to see the game. I want to see what it's about, how you play, what the new, like how that physics engine works that worked incredibly in the first one, and what they're going to do with that now, and how they're going to veer away from some of the things that were criticized about Breath of the Wild, about it being so empty, or about it being no dungeons, just the same.
That's the key.
Sheikah shrines over and over, and which I really enjoyed. I didn't have an issue with that. But I know a lot of people did, and I'm just interested to see how they address and resolve those things, those complaints. And I haven't seen it. So I am very much anticipating this game. Don't get me wrong, but this is why it's number 7 and not higher.
Yeah, I think that's a fair criticism to have. So if they did Breath of the Wild 2 and it was just like the same thing,
right?
That wouldn't do it for you then, right?
And the things that we've seen kind of alludes to it being the same map, right? So they have to do something else.
Well, we're headed to the skies. They did kind of reveal that.
Kind of show that, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if we go underground too, because they also kind of revealed that with the initial trailer. So we'll see. And that would be cool. Like that would be cool. But we haven't seen anything that explicitly says like you are going to spend significant amounts of time going between these places, right?
Right.
So yeah. Anyway,
I'm sure they'll have a nice big reveal, and people will be. I think it'll jump up on your list at some point.
I think so too. I absolutely agree. Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, January 6th. That's your hot take.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha.
If it's hot,
right.
Hot enough. Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 6 is a little game called Starfield.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
So, 2022, you think?
It's November as of right now, I think. Like late November 2022.
Yeah. It's isn't it like Skyrim Day, or it's that November 11th kind of thing?
Right. I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh no, was it November 22nd actually? Because they want to do the 22.
Right.
And I think
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're gonna hit it. I think they've been working on it long enough. I think they want to hit that date for the numbers. And I think Microsoft is probably really wants that to happen. They want another holiday 2021 where they have just hit after hit coming through.
Gosh, they really are.
Forza and Halo. It's like, my God. And I was thinking about that, not to get off on too much of a tangent, but Halo has really just been this gift that keeps on giving for Microsoft, because they had the game multiplayer come out. Then they had the game come out. Now they're going to have Forge come out and co-op. So it's just like, it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
And you're not going to stop talking about Halo going into 2022. And I think that was really important for them. And I think that they're going to do everything they can to get Starfield out the door for the holiday.
I agree.
I think they see what Sony's got cooking up, and we're going to get to some titles here. That they really need to have some stuff worked out by that time.
Yeah. So I have one thing about Starfield. If it's released, say they hit that date. First of all, I haven't seen it tattooed on anybody's arm.
No.
So if it hits that date, do you think it's going to be like the Bethesda buggy Starfield that we're used to seeing when they initially release games? And do you think that's going to be forgiven in this current gaming landscape if it happens?
So have we gotten confirmation of the engine? Is this the Skyrim engine, or is it the new? It's
got to be a new one, right? Like
I think so.
It would have to be, I think, because the time between now and Skyrim is 10 plus years,
Well, but like all the Fallouts between Skyrim and now have used that same engine.
Yeah,
so
but it's a new gen. I mean, I'd like to think it's something new. But,
and I think they probably have confirmed one way or another at this point. Yeah. But I think if it does come out like that, it's fine. I think they get their "this is funny" pass for the most part.
As long as it's not game breaking.
Yeah, as long as it's not game breaking, which I don't know. I outside of like PS3 Skyrim, I don't feel like it's been too bad, but I've always had good experiences. So that I'm just using my own perception here on that. But I think that I am very excited because I've said this before. Skyrim, I love over Fallout, but usually I like sci-fi over fantasy.
Right.
So that's weird. So Starfield hits this is true sci-fi.
Out of all of them, I think Starfield's going to be good.
It's going to be the world that I want to jump into the most.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to do it because you are presumably going to different planets, and I mean, the whole thing about Skyrim and Fallout and games like that are just like go anywhere, do anything you want from leaving those sewers. So I don't know how you do that, going to different planets, and
it's called No Man's Sky. It's called
No Man's Sky. But No Man's Sky is so barren. There's nothing there on every single planet.
Yeah, it can't do that.
It can't do that. It can't, and it can't just be random dungeons that are just like littered over the map. So
it's true.
They've got a big. There's a lot of anticipation about it, and a lot of just like thought that people have huge imaginations, and they have not gotten ahead of any of it. So people are going to let that run wild. And
we've seen 20 seconds of footage, right?
20 seconds.
Yeah. But hey, capable studio behind it. I do think, aside from all the complaints and jokes people make, Bethesda is a very capable studio and always has been.
And now they have a lot of money, so hopefully that helps.
Right. So Skyrim was on the Creation Engine, which is a Bethesda in-house engine, and Starfield is the Creation Engine 2.
Okay.
So it is a new engine. It is
cool.
A new engine. So yeah, hopefully a better one. Not that the Skyrim engine was bad. You know, it's just initial problems.
It has some problems.
Yeah. For sure. Great pick. My pick, I think, also takes place in space for number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it is the Callisto Protocol.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is it the Dead Space?
It is.
People.
So
okay.
I went back and forth between this and the Dead Space remake and which one would make my list. There were a lot of games that I had to cut. I mean, I think that doesn't have to be mentioned, but I'll say it anyway. There are so many games in 2022, so many excellent games, and I'm sure ones that will be on my Game of the Year list that didn't make my list right now. But the Callisto Protocol looks phenomenal. Striking Distance Studios, published by Skybound Entertainment. Glenn Schofield, the former... He's directing this game. He is the former manager at Visceral Games, who created the original Dead Space, actually. So that is the main reason I chose this over the Dead Space remake. Both of these are going to be games that I'm extremely looking forward to, but I've played Dead Space and I know it's a remake. I know they're going to do new things, but I am more interested in the new thing, which is the Callisto Protocol. And I love scary games. I love survival horror. And this looks like a meaty survival horror that will have you like cowering in the corner.
Oh yeah. They definitely didn't shy away from how this is a horror game.
Right. So this is what I was referring to when they haven't shown anything since the initial reveal. And it's slated for a vague 2022. So it's kind of in that Hollow Knight void where it's like, is it going to come out? I don't know.
Sure. I think that game is ripe to be delayed outside of 2022. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah.
I really hope not.
So good pick. I like it. I completely forgot about that game, but yeah, that is one that that's going to be a big one. I can tell.
And I haven't seen much of it, but so it really is going on pure faith of the person behind it.
Right.
You know, that original Dead Space was a monumental game for my personal gaming history. And I have faith that he has talent to churn out another one.
Sure. Very good. All right. Well, my number 5, and this one, I thought it would be a little bit higher, but it's not a game that I am usually into, but it is Elden Ring.
Okay.
So
I'll take 5, buddy.
Yeah.
I'll take 5. That's great.
Okay. Yeah. So I have, you know, this Bloodborne has been the Souls game that I've played and enjoyed, but it got a little too hard. And if you win your predictions from last year, then I'll be playing some Dark Souls.
And we will know next week.
Yes, this is true. Are we going to be playing Dark Souls or Ori and the Will of the Wisps? Who knows?
I'm pretty happy either way.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So Elden Ring, I could not have cared less about this game because I was like, all right, it's another Souls game. We understand that. I don't care about George R. R. Martin or his involvement or non-involvement wherever it is.
Right.
But then I saw people playing that network test, and it looks like a big open world that you can just like ride around on your little goat and just have fun.
Right.
So that was a little more intriguing. I feel like the Souls games that I've seen and what I've played, especially Bloodborne, it's kind of like corridors, and I mean it's outside, but it's like very narrow streets, and then there's a guy behind the corner ready to chop your head off. But this is all open, so that just gives way to, I mean, we've seen it with like big dragon battles and huge monsters, and the space to deal with them,
right?
Which I think has kind of been absent from most of these other games.
You bring up a good point too, because those other Soulsborne games are non-linear, but they are very much corridor based, and this is not that. Yeah,
not at all. So yeah, it's hard because February, right? Like what are we gonna do? I'm gonna be able to pick one game and like move on to the next when I really feel satisfied.
Yeah,
so
I'm getting two. I know I'm getting two.
Yeah, I might find myself in the same place, but
might not be the two you think though.
Oh,
might not be the two you think.
Will I know by the end of this episode?
You will know by the end of this episode what the two are. Yeah,
good.
Because I think like all the games on the rest of my list are from February. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
that's not the case. It's not the case. No.
Okay.
No. That's a great pick, man. Yeah. It does look like this huge open fantasy world to just like explore, and I love that. I love that. Absolutely. My number 5, another one. You might be surprised to see it so low. It's God of War Ragnarok.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So Santa Monica Studio behind this, PlayStation exclusive. But it's hard. So God of War came out of nowhere, right? My expectations for God of War 2018 were nil. Like I had no interest in it, and it came out and it obviously blew those expectations out of the water because it was an emotional story and it was a great game, a phenomenal experience.
I would say top 5 games of all time for me.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's top some number, but not 5 for me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But it's up there. It's definitely up there.
Sure.
Purely based off of my being a father when I played it. And the interaction between him, like I'm not like Kratos to my kid or anything, but like some of
I've seen you yell at your son the way Kratos does.
I'm just like, boy, go to bed. But no, it's just like, and it's the subtlety of it. It's like those facial animations and the emotion behind them. But anyway, that's enough about that. This just can't be more of that, and I have a hard time seeing how it can overcome that. It can't be more of the same as far as gameplay goes, which like, how is a God of War game going to avoid doing that? And I know the story will do more, but it's also not the same team behind it. It's just too many things that I'm waiting to see how it pulls it off.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be, a game that other people rate as a masterpiece, a 10? Could it be a game that ends up number 1 on my game of the year list? Absolutely. But there are a lot of question marks surrounding it for me at this point, where I want it to be something different. And even the trailers and the things we have seen look like it's not something different. I will almost assuredly play this game, but I just am not as excited as I once was for it.
I have a counterpoint to everything you just said.
Okay.
The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. I feel like that's...
Wait, hold on. They are not more of the same, though.
I would say it's the same gameplay.
It is absolutely
with an expanded story.
It's absolutely not the same gameplay.
Yeah, sure,
Last of Us Part 2 actually has good gameplay.
I mean, things are tightened up and you have a little more options, but I would say the core gameplay loop is the same.
There's a dodge in The Last of Us Part 2.
Is there? I don't think I used it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yes, like similar in the way that it's like you sneak, it's cover shooting, like similar in that. Yeah. But I think it did enough new things with the gameplay that yeah, to me, it would be something like that, but it's also like a generational gap between those two games. And yes, this technically is a generational gap, but this is also for the PS4 and PS5. And it looks like it's the exact same engine. So, which Last of Us Part 2 was not. So it's going to have a harder time to do what The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 did, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 next to each other, they look like two different games.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a generational gap for sure.
And if you look at God of War and God of War Ragnarok next to each other, it could be the same game. You're even in the same world. You're just going to new places.
Right.
So, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. And look, I'm looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. It's number 5. So
yeah, no, that's these top 5. These are the big ones. Yeah. All right. My number 4. This is only as low as it is because it's so close. And that is Horizon Forbidden West.
Wow.
I definitely would have put this higher if it were like a second half of the year game. Yeah. But I'm about to get my hands on it. So it feels like it's already here kind of thing for me. Wow. But this is what is going to kick everything out of February for me. I don't care if if Breath of the Wild 2 comes out on on Horizon Day, then which we're not going to find ourselves in that again.
Right.
But
are we?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think we would have seen much more of Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, by now. Nintendo wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game more than anything else in February for sure. And they have shown plenty. They're showing things every single day now of things that are happening in this world that are making me more and more excited.
I know.
I feel like, I was definitely excited for Horizon when we first started learning about it. Just, the world that it was in, the big robots, that's all cool stuff. We know the pedigree of Gorilla, but we know the world, we know what's happening, we know what's going on, which was something that wasn't super intriguing when they first started showing the first game. But now that we know what's going on, it's a whole different ball game. So I'm really interested to see where the story goes. The last game left on that huge cliffhanger about, you have only just seen the tip of the iceberg of what is to come, basically. Right. Today they showed all sorts of different tribes, and I think that aspect is really cool.
Sent that to you, right?
Right. Yeah. So we get to see like all the different people that are on this world.
Yeah.
And they left it kind of a mystery, like, and there's another
tribe. To a little more, right. Which is cool. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So like who is Lance Reddick's character? Like, is he a part of one of these tribes? Like, there's so many things that I want to know.
Yeah.
And we already know the gameplay is amazing. We get some new mechanics with the little parachute thing, and I know there's a bunch more.
They had a clip showed. Right, the parachute alone. Right. Yeah. It's like, that's what they needed in the first one.
Don't they have the climbing? Like, there's a better climbing stuff going on.
But I mean, after I played Horizon Zero Dawn after playing Breath of the Wild, and I always wanted to jump off a cliff and couldn't.
Sure.
So like right there, big difference, big change.
Exactly.
And man, just looking at the footage they released where she was fighting like the snake robot, I was like, look at her hair, look at the snake, look at everything. Right. It's like, oh man, so good looking.
What I would want them to change are those installations. Like, those were not the most fun things. I would always try to get through them as quickly as possible to get out back into the main world.
Yeah, because you were kind of just like, I mean, I like the lore, but it did feel a lot of exploration, like a lot of time spent exploring with not a huge reward.
Exactly.
Right.
It kind of felt like
it was good world building, I think, though. I think
like I get where it is and all that, but like it felt like, what is the Halo level that it's just like corridor after corridor. Oh my God. Like that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah. I did like reading like the personal experiences, how each individual was kind of perceiving what was occurring at, the Zero Dawn, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes, absolutely. Like the lowest point of the game, I think, in my opinion as well. Yeah, man, good pick for sure. So my number 4 is a game you had mentioned already, and it is Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, super high on your list.
Deck building.
Wow.
Deck building, right? Check.
Yeah.
Turn-based combat, check, right? My favorite comic book characters, right there.
That's the big one, I feel like.
A story with what seems to be a darker tone than the Marvel games we have been getting. Although Guardians of the Galaxy hit those points at sometimes and needs to be recognized for that. It's not all lighthearted in that game. Sure. But yeah, Firaxis Games, very capable studio with this type of game. Really just cannot wait to see what this game turns out to be. You could date Marvel characters, but apparently you can't sleep with Wolverine. I saw somebody
that seems dangerous.
Tweet that out, and that's disappointing. But no, I'm really, really looking forward to this game. I think I love turn-based strategy games, and I think the deck building aspect's just another layer of something I absolutely love on its own. Now coupled with another thing I love on its own, coupled with another my favorite comic book characters. It's just pile all the good stuff in one game and give it to me. And sure. I feel like this is aimed. This is one of the few games that comes out that feels like it is aimed towards my specific audience. Right.
I see.
And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it, man. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is your history with XCOM and things like that? Have you played those before?
No, I really haven't, which is surprising. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
But
you played your Mario Rabbids. That was the main one, right?
Buddy.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
No, I mean, I played a lot of Advance Wars. I played Mario and Rabbids. I have played many turn-based strategy games in the past.
Sure.
Some real-time strategy games as well.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's surprising that I never got into XCOM, but I think that was because it was predominantly on PC for a very long time.
Right.
And by the time it came to console, it just wasn't on my radar.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good pick. I like it.
Thanks.
All right. This might not qualify, but my number 3, Metroid Prime 4. I'm anticipating it. We don't know when it's coming out, though.
Yeah. Do you think it's 2022? I mean, let's find out. I almost put this on my list, especially after Dread, right?
Yeah.
I just cannot see it coming out in 2022 because they had a whole reset when Retro Studios took over.
Right.
And that was
a couple years
3 years ago now. But that's
a long time.
3 years to develop it. I mean, I think now we're looking at 5-year cycles. Realistically, it's tough. It'd be tough.
Sure. Yeah. Let me switch that one out then. Here's a better one.
Okay. Wait, you're gonna switch out your number 2?
No. I'm switching out my number 3 since
it's
this
number
one.
3. Are we number 3?
Yeah.
Number
3.
Yeah.
All right. How about this? How about Perfect Dark?
Okay. I mean, yeah, you could do that if you want to.
Yeah. Well, I guess we don't know if that one's coming out either this year. We really haven't heard much of anything on that one.
Actually, they came out and said Metroid Prime 4 will be released in 2023. So
really,
it was announced as a 2023. Yeah.
I don't even remember them saying that.
So Amazon has it listed for December 31st, 2022, but I have here an article that it's just a leak actually, so that says 2023. So
okay,
it could be on your list. Let's do it.
Let's talk about Metroid Prime because I realize Perfect Dark is nowhere to be seen either.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Metroid Prime 4, we're hot off Dread and
super hot.
Man, I'm ready for Metroid Prime 4 just because of that. I know it's a completely different developer, but the Metroid lore is just so interesting. And even if they don't stick with what's going on, I know they're kind of two separate universes, essentially. I know that it overlaps, but even I forget the creator. It's like Prime is a different game series.
It is, but like it's the same. It's the same lore. I mean, anyway.
So I feel like we'll finally be able to drop any sort of gimmicky controls. With the GameCube. We had not really dual joystick, so that was bad. With the Wii, you had the Wii remote. That was bad. So now we can get to a regular controller. I feel like that'll do.
GameCube had 2 joysticks.
It did, but you still had to like hold the left trigger to like strafe and
that's right.
Stuff like that was not good. It was definitely neutered in that way. But I think they have an opportunity to not have to be hampered by the controls, which I feel like all the other games did, and just get to what makes Metroid fun, which we've proven now that it can be 3D, and that was a huge proving ground. But now we just need to focus on a big, beautiful worlds that I still want the Metroid like sectioned off areas until you can get to the next thing. That I think that's core to Metroid.
Right. Like a bigger, badder Metroid Prime. Yeah. Do that.
That's it.
We're good.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you did say it's a different developer, and all praise due to Mercury Steam for what they did with Dread. But I definitely would argue it's a more capable developer.
Oh, totally.
With Retro Studios. And I also think that it's the Prime series for me is like Prime Metroid. It really is to me. So I'm very much looking forward to this game. Would have made my list if I honestly thought it was going to come out in 2022. And it might. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Great pick though, man. Absolutely. I'm glad we brought it up at least. So I had an opportunity to talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah. So my number 3 is Horizon Forbidden West by Guerrilla Games. Yeah. So I'm getting more and more on board with this game the more I see. And as you said, they're releasing stuff almost every day now. So with all of that, it's just like, oh man, like this looks really good. And now there's mystery, and it's just everything being added on and added on and added on. And I grew up in the Bay Area too, which is where it looks like it's set. And I just can't wait to explore it post-apocalyptically. Right. Yep. I had the similar experience with The Last of Us Part 2 because I lived in Seattle for a while. So I really like seeing these landmarks that you're familiar with and places you've been, but like covered in foliage and overgrown. And really looking forward to that. I think the argument I made for God of War and Breath of the Wild, where I said it can't just be more of the same. I think this has the easiest task as far as exceeding my expectations and not being more of the same. I mean, that simple addition of a glider, right?
Yeah, they've already shown enough changes.
Exactly. And as much as I love Horizon Zero Dawn, the story did it for me. The setting did it for me. It was a open world game, a standard open world game. So I think just from the things they've shown already and the things that we probably haven't seen, it's already going to be so much more than that first game was, gameplay wise and everything else. So I do think this has the easiest time as far as exceeding my expectations, which gets me more excited for it. And also at exceeding what the first game was able to accomplish, which also gets me way more excited for it. And that's why it's so much higher up on my list.
Right.
So, can't wait for February.
Yeah. I'm not ready, but are you going to get that big elephant edition?
Absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not.
Have you ever gotten a big like collector's edition like that?
No. I mean, I sometimes feel tempted to because they always resell for more, even if you wanted to get rid of it, right?
Sure.
But I don't know. I don't have any statues in my house,
It's you're not missing out. I got the Halo Reach one. I might have already told you this. But cool. It was cheaper to get the Halo Reach like legendary statue edition. It was at Toys R Us, and I didn't have a copy of the game yet. and for some reason they had it on clearance, so I grabbed that. And I was in an apartment at the time, and I left that there just as like I didn't want it anymore, but like that was one thing that I left at the apartment for the next person to enjoy. So
dude, you made their day,
right?
For sure. That's cool.
Because it was Reach, so it was all like 6 Spartans just like standing, and a big rock formation was behind them. Cool. It was pretty cool.
That is cool. That is cool. Shouldn't have given it up.
Yeah,
look on eBay.
Right.
Go ahead with your number 2 while I look this up.
All right. Well, my number 2, you mentioned it, God of War Ragnarok. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's one of the reasons that I have a PS5, because I was not about to play that one on PS4. Another one that seems to, I don't know when they anticipate selling this one, but even if it's holiday, that's 2 years removed from PlayStation 4 times. And whatever they want to do, I get it. There's 100 million PS4s out there, so right. They want to hit some of those, and you won't be able to buy a PS5 going into next year either. Yeah. I'm sure. So that all makes sense.
You don't think so by then?
I don't think so, man. I think we're still going to be in the chip shortage, and it'll be holidays again. So
right.
These things are not easy to come by, no matter what's going on.
Right.
So, but yeah, God of War. I liked that they showed a full trailer. It makes it seem that it's way more done than I at least thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the story is really what's got me going. The way things ended, you've pissed off so many different people, as is Kratos' MO.
Yeah.
And just seeing where Atreus is, seeing what's going on with Baldur's. Well, I don't want to.
Right.
Do we want to spoil like 2018 game?
Yeah, probably not. Well, I think we have probably already on the podcast.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll avoid it right now. Yeah.
There's a lot of family strife going on that I want to see resolved.
For sure.
That we kind of thought was going to happen in the first game, but they've teased that out through one more here. So yeah, for all those reasons, it's going to have good gameplay. We know that's a tried and true from one game at this point, but it feels so good. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the controller.
Mm-hmm.
Now having played Returnal, that just feeling that different rumble in your hands, the different adaptive triggers and all that can do, it's really cool. And imagine how good it felt to throw the Leviathan axe.
Right.
Now feel that like hitting your hand. That's gonna be cool.
Cannot imagine.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, you've played Returnal now, so that I think is some of the best implementation of the DualSense.
Yeah. I can see it now, like throwing the axe, and then the recoil is just like a slow rumble the further away it is.
Yeah.
And then hitting your hand is just gonna that's gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, it felt great on a PS4, like you said.
Exactly.
So, yeah. It's gonna be incredible. It's good. You got me more excited for it.
Cool.
Just your dialogue,
my enthusiasm.
Yeah, for sure. Good job. So my number 2 is probably a surprise, maybe not for you, but maybe that is this high up for some listeners. It's Sifu, which is done by Slow Clap. What is this game? I don't know anything about this game. I am really, really excited.
You keep telling me about it. I've seen like GIFs online of it, and that's it.
Really? There's a lot out there, actually. People have put up 12, 11-minute previews of it and different gameplay. I find myself, the more I play, the more I like roguelikes. And it's one of those. And it seems like a really interesting take on it. You get to continue your run right from the spot you died, but there's a cost to it. So it's not this constant resetting and having to push through again. I really love the hand-to-hand combat. From what people who have had their hands on the game say, it feels incredible just to land a punch in this game. And I love that almost everything in your environment could be used as a weapon. It looks like if you I love kung fu movies, by the way, even the older ones. My favorite of all time are the Jackie Chan films. I love Jackie Chan. I think he's incredible. And it looks like you get to play a game and like live out these Jackie Chan fantasies where everything's a weapon to you and everyone's an enemy that you have to fight. And it just looks so satisfying. It in some ways, I mean, it's such an odd comparison to make, but in some ways it reminds me of Returnal, Just maybe because it's a roguelike as well, but also it looks like a hand-to-hand Returnal almost as far as combat goes. If this combat in Sifu can feel as good as Returnal, then my needs are met. Like that, this is going to be the game I want it to be.
What's the atmosphere of this? Have they kind of showed that?
Yeah. So it looks kind of like an underbelly. You're basically avenging your dead family. So they have shown initially you start out and like you're going to a club, right? You're setting out on your quest. There's like this part where you start out in your own abode and you kind of like get your build together. Basically, from what I've seen, it's very little that you could do because it's not late in the game at that point, the preview copies that were given out. But then you go to this club to like start your quest to avenge your family, and the first thing is the bouncer tries to stop you. You just like wipe the floor with him and like kick in the door, and you start walking down the stairs to the club, and then it's a room, like 3 people in the room that want to fight you, and you take them out, and then it's just like constant progression from room to room is what it looks like, between corridors and rooms where you go deeper and deeper into this kind of underbelly of crime to like take them down. It reminds me of like if someone took, you remember Kung Fu for the NES?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Never mind. But it looks like if that game, the idea behind that game was ever fully realized, where you're just diving deeper and deeper into combat, into enemies to like eventually get to the person behind it all and take them out. And it's like this old school philosophy that video games were based on, but a very new school take on it. And the combat looks satisfying. And that's really what I'm most excited for.
I just haven't seen anything on it. I guess I need to kind of delve into that. Is this an only on PlayStation game?
It is a PS5 exclusive. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's another February release. This is coming soon. I think the 12th maybe of February, I want to say. Wow. So I mean, we're talking a little over a month here. And it'll be in my hands.
Okay.
They actually have a digital deluxe edition where you could get access to it 48 hours earlier for $10 more. And I'm debating buying that it's like if reviews are out by that point.
I see.
It doesn't even have to be like tens or, this is incredible or blah, blah, blah. But like, I just want to read that people are at least experiencing the things that I want to experience from this game.
I feel like the embargo is going to put it just after.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably.
You're going to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm okay. That saves me $10. So like, I'm good with that too. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I need to check it out or at least hear your impressions when that time comes.
Yeah. I'm sure you will. You will.
Very good. All right. Well, here we are. We're at number 1. So let's get into it. Here's the big one.
Yeah. Let's do it. So what's your number 1, Brian?
All right. My number 1, Breath of the Wild 2.
Is it really? 2 years in a row?
Yeah. It was between this and God of War. I was really having a hard time. But yeah, definitely still Breath of the Wild 2. I just love that first game so much. Yeah, and there was such a huge sense of discovery. And I was floored by the trailer that they most recently put out. Mm-hmm. I think it showed everything that I wanted to see.
I'll have to go back and look at it.
There's a ton of new areas that they're going into. And I mastered that combat after having to master it with the additional DLC. And I'm ready to get back into that world and see where hopefully there's more story. The absolute key for me is going to be the dungeons. Mm-hmm. What were the beasts called? I can't even remember.
Right.
The divine beasts.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Those were fine, but they were not dungeons in the typical Zelda sense. And that's what I'm looking for. Like I've been debating getting Skyward Sword just to play a Zelda dungeon. Like I hear those were really good dungeons.
I've heard people say it's a good game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And especially with the things that they fixed with the newest edition.
I'm sure it's a better version. I'm sure of that. Yeah.
Right. Zelda dungeon, like a well done Zelda dungeon is huge.
Yeah.
And if they can nail everything they did with the first game plus dungeons, like we'll be talking about this as that genre defining video game that we already have with Breath of the Wild.
It's true. It's true.
So,
Yeah, the possibility is there for sure. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that trailer because you're saying all the things that I don't really remember.
Yeah. There's a lot that had me excited. So I think it's worth another watch.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Great pick. Great pick, man.
Thank you.
So moving on to my number one, it's a game you mentioned prior on your list, and it is Elden Ring. Of course, it's Elden Ring. I'm a basic man, and I just went with what the Game Awards said. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. No, From Software. Yeah,
so what's your February then? What order are you going to do all this in?
So it's definitely Elden Ring and Sifu take priority.
Wow.
Yeah. 100%.
That's nuts to me.
My 1 and 2 take priority.
How are you leaving Horizon on the table like that?
I'm not saying I will leave Horizon on the table. I happen to get a $50 gift card for Christmas for PlayStation. So yeah. So I'm not saying I will leave Horizon on the table. However, the only thing that could change that is if Sifu gets like bombed, like review wise. If it is like, and it would take really bad reviews. That's the only thing.
When is Elden Ring coming? Is it before or after Horizon?
It's like, I think the same time as Horizon. I'm not exactly sure.
I'll look it up while you're like describing.
Who pays attention to those anymore? You know when it's coming available, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, From Software. I thought my excitement for this game had actually waned a little bit, but as the day draws closer and closer, I feel myself becoming less and less hollow and more like an ashen one. No, I'm just really ready for some deep From Software lore. There's signature trademark gameplay in a completely new type of setting with that open world. I mean, you mentioned riding around in your little goat thing. There was like a point where he's just like riding around his little goat, exploring the open world. This big dragon you see in the distance coming at you, and it hits the ground and like slides to a stop in front of you. And it looks incredible. Actually, Miyazaki, the director of these games, came out and said that the Demon's Souls remake had them delay this game. It's the reason they delayed this game, because the visuals in the Demon's Souls remake were so good that they were like, we have to do better than what we have right now. And it does look good now. Like, I will say, there was that leaked trailer that looked kind of like, I don't know. Right. This looks like a last gen game. But now when you see these trailers, it very much looks like it belongs on current gen consoles. Yeah, I am just super excited for this. I am ready to be punished, and I welcome it. I really just think, I know it's funny to congratulate some studios for making steps in their games that really aren't like innovative. I think From Software games are so uniquely done that a little change like this is a lot for a studio like that, who has this tried and true formula that works so well, that they usually do very minor tweaks to, but it still changes so much about the game that these minor tweaks make major differences. I mean, see Sekiro and see Bloodborne. They're much more aggressive games because of those little tweaks. Now you're talking about a major tweak, and I have complete faith in this studio as far as their ability to make that work and make it engaging for someone like me who's looking for that type of game. Yeah, I'm so amped for this, dude. Nice. So amped for this. I was last year. I am this year. Nothing has changed. I can't wait.
I bet you were happy to see it on my list then.
Yeah, I really was. That's why I was like, I will take number 5, Brian. Right. Because I didn't expect it to be on your list at all.
So Horizon is the 18th of February. Right. Elden Ring is the 25th.
So I have to beat Horizon in a week.
Well, you have to beat Sifu and then Horizon, and then you can get to your Elden Ring.
See, this is why I think it'll be Sifu and Elden Ring too. I will get Horizon. Get Horizon, but like it might not be a day one for me. This is not even considering what might be coming on Game Pass about that time, right?
Oh, geez.
Like, who knows?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I might still be playing through Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
No, you're going to drop Mass Effect the moment any of these games come out. That's true. There's no way.
Maybe. You never know. Are there any games you want, before we get into our debrief, anything you want to just give a quick mention to? That
I am really surprised Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope did not make your list.
It's actually my number 12 on my list. And it's because, right, tactics, turn-based, all that. But it's another thing where like maybe not anything new, maybe just more of the same. And like, I love it. I love that game, Mario plus Rabbids, and I love that more of the same, but it's not going to be groundbreaking, innovative. I can't see it being anything more than like a sequel that does what the first game did.
Sure.
With like minor tweaks as far as weapons and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, the way that Ubisoft makes games, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Outside of that, Perfect Dark I mentioned, but that we really don't know anything. There was that little CG trailer. The developer, what is it? The Initiative, I want to say.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we can point to. And we'll see. The last Perfect Dark that came out stunk. So yeah, we don't have much to go on there. The only other one that I really am hesitant will not be buying unless it gets like phenomenal reviews is Pokemon Arceus.
Right.
I mean, it looked super rough the last time we saw it, and I don't know.
I just can't see myself buying a Pokemon game.
Right. I think I'm done with Pokemon.
I think I am too.
In the traditional Pokemon sense, like
same. Hurts to say it, but
yeah.
I think I'm in the same boat. Yeah. Is that it for you?
Yeah. What about for you?
I have quite a few I want to mention that could easily be games that are coming in hot. So Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope, Starfield is there. Dead Space,
that didn't make your list.
Yeah, the Dead Space remake. But like I said, I chose Callisto Protocol. Forspoken, I could see being very good as well.
This seems like it's going to be a Returnal, like, okay, there's a game out there, and then it hits and it sets the world on fire.
I could see it doing that as well. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Metal Slug Tactics could end up like being what I want from Advance Wars Reboot Camp. Lord of the Rings Golem could be good. Plague Tale Requiem could be good. And there are 2 games being developed for VR. No VR games made my list this year, which is a big departure from last year. But because there wasn't really much on the slate that I could find, there are 2 that are in development, not slated for this year, but if they come out this year, they would have been on my list. And there's Assassin's Creed being developed for VR and a Splinter Cell being developed for VR. Splinter Cell almost definitely would have made my list if it was like, yes, this is coming out in 2022.
Sure.
But that's all I really wanted to mention.
All right. Well, yeah, let's get into our debrief then. All right. So for this debrief, I bring to the table a little book called Ask Iwata.
Oh, cool.
So I started reading this one by Satoru Iwata, the late president of Nintendo. It's a cute little book. It's pretty small. I've gotten about halfway through. It's just little anecdotes from him. So it kind of describes how he got into programming from the onset, just programming things on his calculator, which I think we all kind of dabbled with all the cool things that calculators can do with the games. But he was doing that way back when and developing actual like things. One really crazy thing that he was describing was he essentially made a program on the calculator and then brought it to the manufacturers of the calculator. And they were like, this is incredible. And he equated it to if someone today made like a full-fledged video game all by themselves and brought it to Nintendo and said like, hey, you can put this on store shelves tomorrow. It's like that level of like impressiveness, what he did with this.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But the man is so humble. I mean, we saw it whenever he did a direct, I forget what he took responsibility for, but he had his very long, like minutes long bow of saying like, we're so sorry this happened. And like he cut his salary, like all this crazy stuff. And he oversaw, the Wii, the DS, like these huge things for Nintendo that made them so much money.
Right.
He was the one to do that. And I think we all fell in love with him the same way for Miyamoto.
Yeah.
where it was just like, he is the guy talking directly to us, and we're getting all of our news from him.
Could you say Miyamoto one more time?
Miyamoto.
Well, I've been told that you have a very, very pleasing way of saying Miyamoto by a listener. So,
okay. Miyamoto. Is that doing it?
I don't know. I'm not the person who feels that way. I'm just
not doing anything for you, though.
Not personally, no.
Okay.
No offense. I think it's lovely.
Yeah. Well, check out my Miyamoto ASMR channel if you have some time.
Yeah. No, it's a good pick. I've been wanting to read that book. It was
between that and The Creative Gene. This one was, just the one I picked up.
You know what? So. I could send you The Creative Gene if you'll send me that book when you're done with it.
I don't know how to send a Kindle book.
Oh, it's a Kindle book.
It's a Kindle book. Mind. I'm one of those.
Just send me your digital device.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a complete aside, but fine. I got my Kindle for $20.
Wow.
Because Amazon screwed up. I was playing Doom 2016 very late at night, like 2 a.m. And I just jumped on Twitter after I was done, and Wario64 said, listen, Kindles, like the Kindle Paperwhite, the backlit looks really great.
Really nice ones. Yeah.
Yeah. They're supposed to be $20 off. Someone put it as $20. And there was a thread of people. They're like, yeah, I just picked up 10 of these things, and they were each $20. So I got 2. That's incredible. I was like kicking myself for not getting more. But yeah, we sold the other one to one of our friends. But yeah, scored a $20 Kindle Paperwhite. And
Wario 64, God bless that man.
I know. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's doing God's work right there.
He really is. Yep.
Yeah. Good pick, though. Good pick.
Thank you.
So send me the Kindle.
Okay.
So for my mission debrief, I want to talk about, if you follow us on Twitter, you probably know this is something I want to bring up. But if you don't follow us on Twitter, you should. We're at List Off Podcast on Twitter, or Listoff_podcast. I don't even know. But we're there. Links in the show notes. We're also on Instagram, links in the show notes. Follow us on social media. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast app if you want, because we were just left a lovely review actually on Apple Podcasts, I think by Nick. And I just want to give it a quick shout out because I appreciate that he was, seemed impressed that we're able to come up with list ideas week in and week out. And that really meant a lot to me, because it's not the easiest thing to do when you're only talking about video games.
Right.
So thank you, Nick.
We've got a lot more in the hopper too. So
we do, which is crazy. I don't know how we keep coming up with ideas. Sometimes it's just like they hit me. I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, I got to add this to the document.
Right.
Anyway, I digress. My mission debrief is Station 11 on HBO Max. I've only made it through 3 episodes so far. The first episode is one of the best episodes on TV I can remember seeing in a very, very long time. It is just so enthralling, and it just gripped me in a way that I can't remember a premiere of any show really doing. Like I said, I'm only through 3 episodes. The second episode starts out and it goes in a direction that's kind of like, wait, like this is a little bit, it's a different vibe than the first episode, but by the end of the second episode, it wraps it all back to the same vibe of the first. I don't want to give too much away. I'm being very vague here, and I realize that.
So what's like the genre? When you say that I would like it, are you saying Lost? Are you saying?
I am saying, actually, there are things happening that remind me, not necessarily like, shot for shot of Lost, but there are things, there's bigger things happening, and all these subtle allusions to those bigger things.
I like subtle.
Right,
I like subtle.
There are a lot of mysteries, like it jumps around in time. There's an outbreak. It's not like a zombie outbreak as far as I know, or anything like that. It's just people getting sick. So it is timely, right?
Oh.
And it takes place on like initially the day of that occurring from a certain like one character's point of view, but then it jumps to like 80 days after that. And then the second episode, it jumps as far as 20 years after it, but it does go back and forth to different characters' perspectives, even a decade before the event to get their backstory, or like I said, 20 years after. But there are these little subtleties that I think it does so well. And it seems silly to call it subtle, but there's like a character who is with another character on Outbreak Day, in 80 days after. But then when it jumps to 20 years later, only one of the characters is there.
Sure.
And they kind of allude to like something happening, but you don't really get to see it. And it just makes you want to watch to find out what happened. Right. And there are so many little storylines and beats that have that similar tactic to keep you watching. And it's just like, oh, it's good. It's a lot of threads to follow already. And like, I want to follow them. And they definitely seem a little organized in a way that they're going to be resolved. You know, it's not going to leave you with unanswered questions, which Lost did. but yeah, I really
sometimes you have to make your own answers.
Right, correct. And I didn't find Lost disappointing in any way. I feel like it did wrap up what it needed to. But I just think this is really good. I think it needs to be watched by a lot of people if it's not already. At least give it a chance. Maybe it's not what you're looking into. It is another, like, it does take place post-apocalyptically later on. Mm-hmm. So if that's the sort of thing you're kind of like worn out on, then maybe it's not for you. But
post-apocalyptic because of the outbreak?
Correct. Well,
are we going to be in a post-apocalyptic COVID time? Is that I don't know the nature of the outbreak.
I mean, I would have to think this was the crazy thing is this had to be developed and filmed prior to COVID, at least written prior to it. And,
sure.
And there's even like some sci-fi elements going on. Like it's interesting. It's really cool. And it's like, I don't want to give too much away, but like, yeah, it's good, man.
Station 11
on HBO Max. I want to watch more. Granted, my opinion is after 3 episodes, I think 9 are out at the moment.
So it's a week to week.
I think it's like more of a weekly release schedule.
Okay.
But I got into it a little later, so now I have 6 more to watch, I think, before I get to caught up. So
cool.
Yeah. That's it.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. I was eager to hear about what exactly it would mean for me. So yeah,
I think
it sounds like
you'd enjoy. Yeah.
I'm intrigued for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, we have a list for next week, and you alluded to the magnitude of it before.
It's big.
Yeah, it's going to be our predictions episode. And that means we're going to look at the predictions that we made last year and resolve them, see who had more things right. Mm-hmm. And whoever did get more things right, the other we're both going to play through the game.
Someone's game of choice.
Someone's game. Yeah. Exactly. So if you had more predictions correct, we will both be playing through Dark Souls, mm-hmm. and I will need a ton of help from you. And if I had more, then we'll be playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which you probably won't need any help from me. But
yeah.
But we'll talk about it. We will have an episode at some point dedicated to one of those games.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to it, man.
That'll be cool.
May the best person win.
Yes. And we're going to be making some new predictions for the coming year. So a lot to unpack there that I feel like looking at the past year, man, I was an idiot. But now I'm like, I really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, same. I feel like I look at some of my predictions from last year and I'm like, man, what was I thinking?
Right.
Elden Ring in the first half.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who's the crazy guy?
Yeah. Well, they had to tighten up those graphics.
Right. That's what I was saying. Maybe if it wasn't for that Demon Souls remake, I'd be right. Yeah.
Nice. So that'll be our next show. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. And we will see you next week. See ya.
See you later.